Hello, everyone. This is Marvin Powell, Coach Powell, if you will. I'm calling and I'm making sure that you guys are paying attention from the Theta Tau Sigma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma here in Northern Virginia. We are having a great show today. Today, inside the business mind, we are talking to none other than the CEO and leader of Anjeltec Technologies. His name is Mr. James Samuel. Mr. Samuel is a former Air Force veteran, a former government official, and he's here today to talk to us about his new technology and his new information. And I'm going to let Mr. Samuel briefly introduce himself, and then we're going to get inside that business mind. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me introduce to you Mr. James Samuel. Mr. Samuel, how are you doing today?
Hey, Coach Powell, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Fantastic, fantastic. Why don't you tell us about your business and how it helps the community to do exactly what it's been programmed and designed to do?
Okay, sure. I'd be happy to do that. But first, I definitely want to just sort of level set and give all praise, honor, and glory to God, because without him and his inspiration and so many other things, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. So to God be the glory. And I am James Samuel, like you mentioned, the founder and CEO of Pluribus is actually the name of our Delaware C Corporation. And our signature and flagship technology is Anjeltec, an angel with a J. And it's not the only thing we built or created. It's just the thing that's most known out there. And there are other things that we will create. But that's the one that we're most known by right now. And Anjeltec is a live streaming personal body camera. It turns your cell phone into your own personal body camera, so that if anything happens and you have an issue out there in the street, you catch beef some kind of way or another, and you want your loved ones to know what's happening to you and where you are and how to get to you and have a copy of that and a record of that in the cloud, then Anjeltec is the preferred way to do that. And it is unique. We have a patent for it, and we can talk about that and that whole process. But yeah, that's the company. It's an amazing team of veterans and tech entrepreneurs, myself and others in the company there. We've been around for about 5 years now. We're in our 5th year of operation. So we're staying alive. We're beating all those odds, and we're making it happen. And we're here to serve our community and to serve the world, to make sure that, you deserve to live. And we honor that. And you deserve to be free. And we want to enable that. And you deserve to be fulfilled, because that's why you were created, for a purpose and for a reason. And we're here to ensure all those things happen for you and your loved ones. And so that's what the company's about. That's who I am briefly. I'm a husband and a father, a veteran, an entrepreneur, federal executive, a pilot and engineer, and so many other hats I've worn and I'm currently wearing. But I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today and to address the brothers and the entire Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity world over.
Fantastic. It's so good to see you. So good to have you in studio today. As you know, I belong to an organization that's very unique and special called the Roundtable, one of the groups we created to make sure that entrepreneurs have a voice and have an opportunity to connect with one another. And our mantra always goes around, these 3 key areas. We really focus on communication, we focus on encouragement, and we focus on collaboration. If you had to think about those 3 key ideas, communication, encouragement, and collaboration, and you had to choose just one, which one is your favorite and why?
Just one. Well, there's so much about each of those that matters at a personal and professional level. But I think if I had to just pick one, it'd be collaboration. And I would pick collaboration because, there's unity in collaboration. And as Amos, in the Bible, Amos 3:3 says, can 2 walk together unless they are agreed? So there is agreement in collaboration. And I think there's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And so it is the togetherness, it's the unity, it's the unification. There's safety in numbers, as the mantra goes, right? And all things are possible when we work together and when we're unified. When we're divided, that's when we become conquered and subject to someone else who is unified. And so we must be unified. And collaboration is a precursor to unity, and it is also a beneficiary of unity. And so collaboration is the one. And Anjeltec works very much in that space, right? Because we allow you, we enable you, we empower you to inform your network, inform your personal security, your professional network. Hey, I have an issue right now, to live stream to them what's going on so they can see what's happening to you and have awareness and understanding about your plight, your duress, and your need. And it shows them where you are, and it updates that location every 10 seconds. So it's accurate and it's updating. It's very precise as well. And the geocodes, the geolocation aspect of it. It stores it in the cloud so that in that moment they can see it and they have access to it. They can download it in case something happens to you or your phone. They have a record of that. They can come to you and send help in that moment, and they can certainly pursue justice and accountability on your behalf every moment after that. And that's also collaboration. And so that's how things get done at scale, is collaboration. I think ingenuity and innovation comes individually often, but then when you want to see that really empowered and provided to the masses and at scale, then it's collaboration. And I'll say one more thing about this. There's a great book by Malcolm Gladwell, and I love to read. Coach Powell, we've talked about this, just shared our libraries, but it's called Talking to Strangers. And it mentions that you can only ever really have so many personal connections. The human mind is limited to about 120, 140 personal touch points. But if you want to empower and if you want to lead a large number of people and have them collaborate and work together towards a common goal, then you have to have a unifying mantra, belief system, ideology, and whatnot. And then through that, you can mobilize millions and billions of people. And we see that over and over again in today and in through history. And collaboration is the key to motivating humanity to achieve greatness. And so that's why I picked that one.
That's great. That's great. I want to keep reminding people, you can always go to Angel Live here and find out more information, get plugged in, and really participate in all the things that Anjeltec is bringing to the table. Speaking of bringing Anjeltec to the table, I'm sure there are opportunities and things out there that you're going to want to take advantage of in the future. But right now, I want to talk about where you hope to see this whole thing going. Where do you think Anjeltec, in terms of the big vision, what would you like to see happen as a result of Anjeltec's existence on the planet right now?
Oh, absolutely. So thank you for sharing our website as well. And it's, again, www.angel, that's angel with a J, because I'm James, .live. And we pronounce that address as .live because you deserve to live. You deserve to be free, and you deserve to be fulfilled. And no one has the right and is not entitled to your life, your freedom, your purpose. And so it's angel.live for those reasons. So go check it out, angel.live, to use this technology to make sure that you survive and you live and that you thrive and that you fulfill your purpose in life and why you were created. And so the technology is to do just that, Coach Powell. It's to enable people, communities, globally, because it works all over the world. Anywhere your cell phone works, both Android and iOS, Anjeltec works to connect you to your loved ones and to help you all stay unified and stay healthy and stay wealthy in a corporate and a family sense and throughout the generations, right? So multi-generational health and wealth. And we can talk a lot about that, but that's what the product's designed to do. It's globally available as well. And so that's really the goal. The goal is the vision is to have alive, right, living, free, purpose-filled people globally. That's what we're empowering and doing. And there's lots of ways that we can do that through commercial and through corporate and through campus and through government sales. And we're pursuing all of those things.
That is absolutely super fantastic. I can't wait to see where this goes. I mean, this is just an exciting concept to make sure that basically everyone's taken care of. They can track and know what their loved ones, where their loved ones are going and what they're doing and in real time, and really keep that collaboration, which is what life is all about, when it's all said and done. I really appreciate your thoughts there. What do you love most about what you get to do?
I love most serving people. That's what I love most, is the opportunity, because we all have a choice. right? If you're alive and breathing, you have a choice, and that's a blessing to even have that choice and opportunity. There's so many miracles that lined up to turn you from stardust into the person you are right now. So you beat astronomical odds to even arrive here right now and be alive. And then the gift you have is a choice each and every moment of each and every day. And so I most enjoy leveraging that gift, using that choice to serve others and to help them be alive, be free, and be fulfilled. And starting with those who I'm most responsible for, myself, my wife, my children, right? To create a different future for them, one with more choices for them, one with more safety and protection for them, but then to create technologies and a framework using my 30 plus years of federal service as an engineer and a pilot and an SES and executive, and deployed to Afghanistan and East Africa and lived all over the world as a military brat myself. My dad was in the Air Force. And to take all of that exposure and education and experience and leverage all of that to build something that enables people to live better and freer and more purposeful lives. So I love the gift and the opportunity to put that into the world, to put that into creation, to leave that mark on time and eternity. I love that. And it's challenging, right? It is not easy. It ain't easy, but it's so very worth it, and it's so worth it to me personally and professionally, spiritually. I believe it's worth it to the greater good of mankind and humanity and to the kingdom of God, and it's worth it to my wife and our children and their children and their children, and so on. And so it's a privilege, Marvin.
So you told me a story earlier about how you came up with this whole concept and this framework. And I just wanted you to share with the audience, how you just take us back to the beginning. Where did the germination, the seed for this idea come? And, how has the journey been for you so far? So, just take us back. Why did you do this in the first place? What was the emphasis, the key, take us back to the beginning.
Wow, the beginning. So I think I told you I used to fly jets, right? So every fighter jets, and so every fighter pilot starts the story like, okay, so there I was, right? In my family car with my wife and two kids who were a lot smaller at the time. They were 3 and 1, and we were driving from Atlanta, Georgia, to Huntsville, Alabama, to go visit Granny, my mother-in-law. And so we take off from my sister's house in Atlanta at the time. We're driving and we put in the navigation system, Granny's house, and we proceed to drive. And it's a beautiful day, and kids fall asleep because they're great travelers, thank God. And my wife and I just have some time in the car to chat. And we get about halfway or so into the drive, and we get lost in conversation, and just that great time you have with your spouse, and then we start to sort of see signs in our environment that tell us that we may not be safe. And it catches your attention, because you're looking around, you're like, wait a second, and then the question it becomes, okay, well, where are we? Because the navigation system's taking us to Granny's house, but how is it taking us there? So then I look down at the navigation system. We're right on the track. But it took us in a very straight line that didn't account for other known factors like our identity. And, at that moment in time, I had already deployed to Afghanistan successfully and been shot at and survived that whole thing. Africa, I had already been, my job at one point in the Defense Department my title was Safety of Navigation Expert. This was in my official title. It said Safety of Navigation Expert, Department of Defense Aeronautical Issues, based on my flying background, engineering background, and so on. And I was the senior advisor and had a team of folks that provided all of the flight data for military aircraft around the world, for U.S. military and allied aircraft around the world. Hundreds of people, right? We're doing this in St. Louis, where I was at the time. So I'd already done that. That was in my past and my experience, and been a pilot and, navigated, been soaring, glider, instructor, and pilot, and all that stuff. Yet here I was with my wife and 2 small kids, and I had allowed technology to navigate us to a place where we did not feel safe. So after getting over, being upset at myself more than anyone, because I had allowed that to happen, there's a saying in the jet, you don't let anyone on the ground kill you, right? You're pilot in command, you're pilot in charge of that airplane. So you make the final decision about where it goes and how it gets there. And certainly don't let anyone at ATC, air traffic control, kill you, right? Because you can ask for an altitude and a vector, and they can tell you to climb or maintain or descend and maintain a certain altitude and fly a certain heading and direction. And if you assume that command and you do it and you fly into the side of a hill or a mountain or the ground because they gave you a bad altitude, well, that's on you. Yeah, they're culpable at some level, but it's your butt in that seat. And so you make sure that the altitude they gave you, you can accept. And if you can't accept it, don't accept it. And you tell them, I do not accept that altitude. I'm going to fly this heading and altitude because it's safer. And if you have to declare an emergency to do that, then you can throw that card on the table and they will get out of your way. So I had all that in my background, but I didn't use it. And I navigated my family to an area where we weren't safe in our estimation. And so I was mad at myself. But then I also said to my wife at the time, there's no reason in the 21st century, and this wasn't that long ago, this was 2017, so 7 years ago from today or so, from this year. And I said, there's no reason in the 21st century that our identity should not have been a consideration when deriving a route. It's not just about how fast you get there. It's about how safely you get there and how much you enjoy the trip and the ride. And so I said to my wife, if this thing had just asked me, hey, Apes, come here. Are you black? I would have said, yes, all of us are. This whole car full. We're all African American. And then the system could have, and it should have said, okay, well, hang on. Let me help you out. You need to probably head up to Chattanooga first and then drop down into Huntsville from there. Okay, it'll take you an extra 15 minutes or so, but you'll enjoy the ride. There's probably better bathrooms for the kids and all that other stuff, right? That other data was available. The system didn't ask, it didn't care. It wasn't part of the calculation. And that's what happened. And we've all been there, right? This has happened because that's how systems were designed up until that point and largely still are today. So I said to my wife, we can do better than this. I have enough experience as an engineer and as a geospatial expert and navigation expert. I've been around long enough to know I can actually change this. And so I started a company 2 years after that, after reading a book that my wife told me to read called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The first one, and there's 3, I read all 3 of them, the 4 Quadrants book and the Guide to Investing. It's a trilogy. So I read them all, but that was that first one that really said, go now. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, start it now. Boldness has genius, magic, and power in it. Begin it now. Don't wait. And so I began it at that point in 2019. I started Pluribus, and then we started building that technology, and a feature inside of that new navigation system, it's called identity-based navigation is the term, and we've trademarked that, and we have a patent around that technology as well, to navigate you not just based on how fast you want to get there, but based on that and who you are, take your identity into the calculus. A feature inside of that was this live streaming system that was actually inspired by the movie Queen and Slim that says, hey, you know what? Make a record of that, live stream it, not to your social media, not try to get likes and followers, but to your family who's most invested in you and likely to come to your defense. And live stream to them and let them know where you are. It's geospatial, right? Based on my time in the intelligence community as a geospatial expert. It's live streaming so they can see what's happening. They have eyes on, they have situational awareness. And it stores it in the cloud, so it's off platform. And in case something happens to your phone, somebody throws it away, they still have a copy of a record of that. So when George Floyd happened, and so we made an alpha version of that technology to navigate safer in early 2020. And then we started building this other technology about the live streaming piece of it, also in spring of 20, February, March, about this time in 2020, 4 years ago. And then when George Floyd happened in May of 2020, Memorial Day weekend of 2020, it was May 25th, that changed everything. You know, we could see ourselves on that asphalt being lynched and strangled and asphyxiated, murdered. And that changed something to me. That broke something. That set something free. That unleashed some other imperative to do something more for my sons, for myself, for my brother, sister, my wife, all of us. And so I made a decision to take that live streaming feature out of this other thing we're building, which we're still building, and launch it separately as its own product. And then we gave it a name called Angel, based on Psalm 91. And he shall give his angels charge over you, and they shall lift you up and protect you, lest harm come to you, essentially. And we launched it 100 days later. We built it as fast as we could. We got it in the App Store in October of 20, and in the Google Play Store in like January of 21. And then we've just been running with it ever since. And we'll get back to our original reason for being, but that is how Anjeltec came to be and why I started the company. And it's called Pluribus because from the motto of the United States, right? E pluribus unum, out of many, one, Latin, right? But the company's called Pluribus because we recognize the plurality and the individuality of people in the world. And the unum, that oneness, is an aspiration. That's a goal. But our survival and our safety shouldn't depend on aspirations. It needs to depend on reality and solutions built around reality, not around aspirations. And so it's for serious-minded people. And that's why it's called Pluribus, and that's why it's called Angel. And we called it Anjeltec because that was a domain we could get at the time, angel.tech. But it fit. And that's how we got here. Over.
Wow. Just an incredible story. I can't tell you every time I've heard it, and I've heard it a couple times now, that I'm like, this is so important that the world needs to know about and needs to be brought into, which is the exact reason why the brothers were so excited to say yes to bringing you on as one of our leaders of the year, our business leaders of the year. So we're so thankful that you are able to do this. Let's take a look at where we're going. And I understand we've talked about the big vision and what you're trying to do, but let's bring that down to something local that we can wrap our arms around over the next 5 years. Where do you see Anjeltec going and growing, and what could be useful that others might do to help you achieve that goal?
Okay, thank you, Coach Powell, and it's a privilege and honor to know you, and thank you for the platform and for the introductions and for the love, and just the brotherly love is real. I appreciate that on so many levels. You and the rest of the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Blue is my favorite color. I got to just tell you that, just because of the sky, and sky blue is just, it always has been. So I appreciate and love you guys for that greatly. My brother's a Sigma as well. So, just greatness abounds. So let's talk about the D9 for a second, since that's sort of where we are. Let's start where we are. As the saying goes, you want to bloom where you're planted, right? So let's kind of start there. And the other saying I love, since we're going to kind of in this plant sort of analogy, is when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago, right? We needed this technology 20 years ago, 100 years ago, 400 years ago, starting in 1619, at least in this local fabric. When's the second best time to plant a tree? Right now, today. If you didn't do it when you needed it to have a shade today, then plant one today, so at least you'll have it 20 years from now or whatever. So right here and now, in the Divine Nine sort of construct and context, getting our technology into the hands of those leaders in all of that African American and diaspora fraternity and sorority fabric, I think would be a really great start. And I'm so proud of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated for taking that leadership role, having that business mind, and doing something about it, and leading, and that's powerful. So congrats to you all and to this fantastic fraternity for this opportunity and for leading and doing something and being proactive. And so we've seen the problems, and now we have solution space. So let's use those. So that's one place, is getting it throughout the D9 construct and into the hands of my wife's AKA, right? Getting in the hands of, that sorority as well, into the alphas and the kappas and the Qs and, everybody, the deltas, the zetas, right? Let's do that first. That should be very doable. That should be very attainable. And we're all thinking about the diaspora and our safety and our security and our future and our longevity. So what's more important than existing, than living, than surviving? That's the first thing we got to shore up. So let's take care of that, and let's be serious about that and stop playing with it. It's nothing to play with. And I don't want to get started on that tangent, because I meet people, Marvin, and we talk about business, right? I meet people who are not about their business, or their business seems to be not about real safety and security. It's about talking and about empowering and enriching themselves, but not really about helping people and putting things in the world that actually make a difference for other people. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. And then from there, there's lots of ways we can go. There's other organizations. Human Rights Campaign is someone that's really we're working closely with, in the LGBTQA space, and the horrific statistics around Black and brown people in that community who are targeted at an intersection of hate, right, and hatreds. And then there's government plays for us in the Defense Department and the State Department. And there's all kinds of things we're pursuing. But in the next 5 years, that would be quite enough for us to accomplish.
Fantastic. Well, that's beautiful, and we're going to do everything we can to give you that wind beneath your wings and lift you up into those spaces, because there's a lot of power there, a lot of opportunity there, and a lot of need there that you've so eloquently point out that I don't have to go back in and do anything more with. We also make sure we got to mention, since you gave the list of the D9 members, we gotta make sure we mention the Sigma Gamma Rhos and the brothers of Iota Phi Theta, just to round out the whole 9 group, right? So very, very important that people get left out, they feel left out, so they don't want nobody to feel that kind of way. And all our Omega brothers too, and make sure we mention them and let them know that we're all in this thing together and creating great opportunities for our communities in their entirety globally. Really, when it's all said and done, this is super, super important. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel, for coming on, for being the man, the person, just the entity that God put on this planet at this time, for such a time as this. You're here, and your company's here, and we're looking forward to great things for you. We pray that all those things will happen to make sure that all the efforts and all the community, all the collaboration, all the things that need to happen to come together to create this magic moment. Man, I want to be in the shade of this tree, man, that we plant. I want to make sure that we got as many trees as we possibly can, so there's as much shade to go around as we can make happen. And so I'm very thankful for your efforts and thankful for your vision and everything you're bringing to the table.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad to be able to share with the rest of the world. Things that you want to share, go ahead and share them now, and then we'll close out the show.
Again, I'll just end where we began and give all praise, honor, and glory to God. And thank you and your amazing team for this opportunity, this platform. And just go to angel.live. We're on social, at Anjeltec. But check out angel.live. And you can also check out angel.tech. And secure your life, secure your posterity, secure all the things you work so hard for. Provide a lifeline to your loved ones. Use the technology, the 21st century cutting edge technology that, again, is patented in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. And we've always been the solver of our own problems, right? And this is one of those solutions that we created in our ingenuity and in our innovativeness throughout time to make our life and our community stronger and better. And I'm proud to have a great team and be in that lineage. But it doesn't work if you don't use it. And it's like, folks who complain, but they don't vote. This is your vote. This is your ballot. And if you want to vote towards the life and the health and well-being of your family, then here's your opportunity to cast a vote that says, I want to make sure that we are free, alive, free, and fulfilled. And I'll just leave it there. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel. I'm going to put you backstage for a minute as I close out the show, but it was so wonderful to have you on as a guest. I can't wait to do more, and we're going to do a lot more. And so thank you. Thank the brothers for accepting the nomination that we put forward to make sure that you are duly considered for our Business Leader of the Year. And we're looking forward to doing more with you. Okay, that's the show, guys. This is what we do inside the business mind. We try to bring the best, the greatest, the brightest entrepreneurs and business leaders that we possibly can, put it in front of you so that you get to answer all the questions, right, that you all want to have. You got them now. There's no excuse for you not to say, let's do what I can to secure my family right now and to use the technology that I have available right now. This is Inside the Business Mind with Coach Powell and brothers of Theta Tau Sigma Fraternity at Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated here in Northern Virginia. And we're so proud and grateful to bring you this opportunity. Thank you so very much. And we are out of here.